Okay.
Good evening, everybody. We're going to call our work session to order, October 7th, 2021 work session. At this time, we're going to ask Councilman Jennison to please offer our invocation services.
Yes, let us stop. Thank you all. Thank you for waking us up and put us in restraint, putting our mind with positive attitudes and positive thinking. Thank you, God, for consider ourselves and all our citizens. Please help us strive in this COVID pandemic. All the ones that made it, please, and the ones that made it, keep striving and move forward. Pick up your man, pray, God. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilman. Let us all stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. And this time, we're going to have our roll call of council members. Council President Billy Young, present. Councilman Harvey. Councilwoman Christie Thomas. Present. Councilman Carmichael.
Present.
Councilwoman Jane.
Present.
Councilman Randolph. Councilman Jennison.
Here.
Councilwoman Jane Thomas.
Present.
And Councilman Michael Johnson.
Here.
Very good. Thank you, Council, for your responses to the roll call. Now, at this time, we will start our meeting off with our citizens' request. We have one citizen on our agenda for the evening. And we're just going to remind our citizens that we have 3 to 5 minutes allotted for the presentation. So at this time, we're going to ask Mr. Nathan Furman to please come forward.
I promise I'll be short and quick, shouldn't take too long. In front of you, there's 2 different things. One is the actual proposal that breaks down the project in detail. The other one is the governor, and it's not with you guys, it's just pictures. You didn't have to use TV and have to IT. So when you look on the actual donor proposal, you can see the pictures of the statue of.
Sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of those, I think.
If you want to spray it.
Oh, I'll bet.
You can hear me? Check the tickets on there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, all right.
So the other one is not asking you for money, it's just to give you the picture so that we didn't have to do the TV and the whole setup. So that kind of lets you know what it is I'm proposing and offers a little bit of information on the statute itself. So first off, thank you for letting me come before you. I appreciate your time. The reason I'm here, I was approached by a couple of veterans organizations asked to help raise awareness for veteran causes. And then we will also propose a project for in addition to the memorial, veterans memorial in the state. So as many of you know, I'm sure there's nothing after the era of Vietnam. So essentially what this project proposal does is it puts together an event that happens on November 6th, color run, something fun for the community to come out and do. It also brings the community and veterans together and allows us to honor our veterans and bring awareness to veteran causes. That raises money for the statue. So the statue, as you see before you, is what's called the battlefield cross. It's what they call a modern era. So it essentially is identified by the Iraq, Afghanistan veterans from the War on Terror and Desert Storm. So it's the boots and the Kevlar that were used in that era, so it targets that generation. Arsenal Place has already put forth the funds to secure the statue, and then the veterans, foreign wars, and the American Legion are going to come in along with other organizations in the community. Some have already given money to help us recruit them. So right now, the proposal is to be able to put that as a park and have an addition to the memorial that's existing that would honor the veterans after Vietnam.
Very good. Very good. This time, are there any questions or comments from any members of the council? The council comment.
I would assume we need a resolution to approve this on the platform.
I think we would require a resolution. Yes, sir. If we can, is our attorney on with us? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hey, attorney, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well this evening. I'm well, thank you.
Very good, very good. We just heard a proposal regarding an addition to our Selma Veterans Memorial Park. Is it possible, could you get with our city attorney and y'all could work out some type of resolution possible for this item to approve?
This is Mr. Nathan Furman, correct?
Yes, sir.
I believe I met Mr. Furman earlier this afternoon. And I was fairly sure that what I just heard would be what I heard, that all things considered, a resolution would be necessary to engage the city, the city's blessing and support of this. We just didn't go into a lot of detail because I didn't want to steal any thunder from the council work session, but I did know what he was intending to do tonight. So I'll be glad to work with him in any way possible to get a resolution to the council.
Okay. And so y'all coordinate, and then once it's coordinated, then we can have something to present for another download.
Absolutely, thank you so much.
All right. Oh, Councilman Jay Thomas, you got something?
Yeah, because I'm, I'm a strong supporter of veterans, because I do. I'm very happy that this is a new change coming for the veterans, because we always attend the veterans event. And there are civic ceremonies. We really appreciate this because we do have a lot of veterans. And I think this is something new to bring. And I'm quite sure that everyone that the veterans really appreciate.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for this presentation. I look forward to having an opportunity to vote on this. All right. With that, we'll go to our next items on the agenda. Are there any announcements by any council members? If so, please make those announcements at this time.
Yes,
Councilman Thomas.
I would like to make an announcement to citizens of Selma. We are at Saturday, we will be doing our next enter and starting from Valley Green for welcome into Selma side. We will do that enter. So far, our fourth entry after we do Saturday will be complete. And we will be working, I will start working with council members in their ward and with each constituents that lives in their ward to work with us, keeping our city very free. I know a lot of people don't think that's important, but that is very important. That helps our city it moves our city. People are looking for, the entry into our city. And this is a part of, keep Alabama beautiful. And, this is the part that we do this all over the state. So, stay tuned, we will be coming, with working with each councilman in their ward.
Ma'am, any other announcements?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Just want to say that, we had a first board meeting on yesterday, and it was a success. I would like to thank, Mr. Mark Neely, for doing the presentation. And, thank Pastor, Gary Crum for allowing us to use Elwood's church and all of the citizens that came out. We appreciate it. We really, look forward to doing this again. Thank you for all of your concerns, and we're working on all of those concerns now. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you.
I have one more.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to say to Ward 7, we will be having a board meeting, we're trying to set up a location where we will have, people to feel comfortable and spread out and the people, feel, worried about the COVID, but we're gonna have a meeting in this, about people waiting, and it's gonna be dealing with our public safety and a lot of other things that we'll be working on the Ward 7.
Thank you. Any other announcements?
President,
I'll get you, go ahead, Councilman Thomas, then I'll get, Council Carter.
yes, thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, there will be a ward meeting also, Monday, October 11th, at 5:30 to 6:30 at Kingston School on Selma Avenue. The topic would be, neighborhood watch, community action, citizen concerns. Of course, Mr. Neely will be the host of the meeting, and plus we'll be doing other things and talk about other projects and other things that are going on in Ward 8 as well. So we're asking all citizens that want to attend the meeting this coming Monday at October 11th at 5:30 to 6:30 at Kingston School, but must wear their mask, because we got kids go to school there. You would not be permitted to come into the building unless you have your mask on. So please, if you come, make sure you bring your mask, and looking forward for seeing everybody there on October the 11th from 5:30 to 6:30. Thank you, Mr. President.
Sir, go ahead, Council Carter, and then we get Councilman Thomas.
I'd like to announce our Ward 3 meeting in October 19th, the Arsenal Place Accelerator at 5:30 p.m. Arsenal Place is at 22 Church Street, and we'll have some favorite foods and drinks. And we're going to continue to do the Ward 3 meeting every third Tuesday of the quarter. So we'll have January's third Tuesday, April's third Tuesday, and so on and so forth. And I appreciate Marshall Place and Mr. Mark being here for putting that together.
Yes. All right, Councilman
Last
Thomas.
invited the council, I'd like to give a report on the standing committee meeting on, dealing with the finance administrator, and also with public safety. You know that, this year I became to be a part of the standing committee dealing with finance and public safety. They had a meeting September the 8th, and, I don't know what happened, but I did get all of the information out on this meeting, and they apologized to me that it was, went to the wrong email that I was supposed to get in Montgomery, but I did get my report, and I will share the report. I will have our secretary to, email this information to every council on what each, standing committee or each city that represents their city.
Thank you so much. Any other announcements? All right, hearing no further announcements, we'll now go to our mayor's report and then the attorney's report.
Good evening, council. The report, citizens, good evening to all. The first item on the report is an acknowledgement of the BMSS invoice, current invoice, invoice number 265120. And that invoice amount is included in your packet, $30,020. that will be presented council for payment in the meeting. Next item is a letter that was sent to the Dallas County government by way of the probate judge, acknowledging the council's and the mayor's approval and desire to move forward with transfer of the ad valorem property tax, if you will, processing from the city of Selma to Dallas County. That letter has been included for your information. The Sweet Magnolia Therapeutic Inc. desires to enter a memorandum of understanding with the city to do some economic development work. I won't bore you with trying to explain the details of that. I encourage you to review it, read it, and this is there will be a presenter on Tuesday who will share additional information with us. Former Mayor of Haynesville, Helena Bale, will be with us to walk through the details of this transaction. I've asked her to be available to present. There are some items from the Planning and Development Office, approval of an agreement with the Alabama Power Foundation, Good Roots Grant, and Ms. Wooten is not available. If you have any questions about any of that, we'll be glad to entertain those questions at the time of presentation. Also, authorization for application for the Alabama Historic Commission for the fiscal year 21 certified legal government grant. That's also available for your review and consideration, i.e. resolution 5-20, I think that should be 2122. We may have to look at those numbers and make an adjustment on these resolution numbers. Madison, am I right on that? The resolution numbers should be 2122 now, shouldn't they?
Yes, sir. Starting with 01, which first three numbers I think I secured.
I just noticed that all of these resolutions that are coming out of planning and development now have 2021. There should be 2122.
Correct.
Those corrections will be made prior to Tuesday. The next item on the mayor's agenda would be the Arbor Day proclamation of the city of Selma. That's also will be presented during the mayor's report by the Planning and Development Office. That information is available in the packet as well. Authorization to select preliminary professional engineering services, Department of Transportation. That is in more detailed resolution. We'll take any questions that you'll have on that at the appropriate time as well. The Agora Partner Creative Placemaking Agreement that was discussed in a prior meeting. We're now prepared to try to move forward with that. They are providing volunteer services to the city, and we're excited about this partnership. The McNair Historic Preservation Inc. agreement is also included in the packet that is coming from Planning and Development as well. There are no emergency and unanticipated items at this time. That's usually only used during the time when between the Tuesday work session and the Thursday work session and the Tuesday meeting. And then following that, the announcements that I have, the proclamation, October 2021 statewide parent engagement month in Selma, Alabama. If you recall, First Lady Cynthia Perkins made a presentation to council in that regard. That resolution was drafted. It is in your packet. We will be discussing it and just sharing it with you. They did have an announcement of the resolution and an announcement of the day today at the public library. The county school system, county government, and the city of Selma were all represented, and it was a grand announcement of this parent engagement month for the city of Selma. And finally, the emergency housing voucher program. I've been approached by President CEO of the Housing Authority, Mr. Kennard Randolph, about us engaging in a partnership with them with this program. And so the details of that. I don't have the flyer. It was not prepared for this meeting. We'll have the flyer on it, but I can assure you it is a good thing, and it is something I think we're going to all want to wrap our arms around to try to get this information out to our constituents who may have a need for emergency housing vouchers. That is the content of the mayor's report. Council, at this time, if you have any questions about it, I'll take them.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Perkins. Council, what you can do, over the weekend, take the opportunity to look over, this information. And if you can, be able to ask the questions before the meeting, you can send an email or something like that to get an answer, so that we'll be able to vote, expeditiously. Otherwise, you can't bring the questions to the meeting on Tuesday. But if you can get some general questions asked, just send them an email and see if you can get a response. If not, we'll take those questions on Tuesday if we have some.
Council, in fact, Council, I would encourage all inquiries about administrative functions. If you would just send us something in writing, we'll be glad to respond in writing. That way we can actually do a better job of managing and tracking the activities. That's something that I intend to embrace and advocate for and vote with the department heads in this fiscal year. It is a process that I think we're prepared to embrace to formalize our communications more. Thank you. That's all.
Okay, Councilwoman Thomas.
My biggest concern was that, I hear the mayor address all this, and my concern about some of these things that the representatives that provided the council, to be joined, and, some questions about some of these grant, email that Ms. Danielle Wood is putting out now. My big concern about some of these going to be placed up in,
Those are questions I think.
and that is why, it is best for our attorney to, there's some things that we have questions about, and legal,
Okay, I think the best way to do that is when you formulate the email, send the email, and also include the attorney in the email as well. And that way he can respond. And so I think that's the best way to create a good record. of what's
does the
going on.
attorney have a secretary too?
Yes, Mrs. Moses. Yeah. And so I think you'd like us to include her on correspondence as well.
Okay, that's what I would like to do, since he has a secretary, anything that I read over, and I need to add some more legal advice on, or something that I read up.
Yes,
I
sir.
would like to be able to translate it to the attorney.
Yes, sir. And so those of you that can, if you look at all that, go ahead and ask as many questions as you can on email so that we can expedite the meeting on Tuesday. And so you can get some of those answers before Tuesday. So please use our email. All right. Thank you, Mayor. And now we'll go on to attorney's report. Attorney Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor and Mayor Perkins, and thank you, President Young. I want to expound on something. I have a very brief report. As a matter of fact, 2 of the 5 items are informational only at this point. I want to expound on something I heard the mayor say, and I think I heard Councilwoman Thomas say, because I've broached this subject a couple of times before with the council too, I believe. For a while, I did not have a secretary. Well, I had one when I started out. She left. It took me a while to get a second one. I got a second one. That person is no longer in the legal office. And I got a third one a few weeks ago. So yes, we're ready to communicate. And I've asked the council if communications could be made through your administrative assistant to my office in email, and CC my secretary, who is Deborah Mosley, indeed, President Young. I would prefer that too, because it allows efficiency in communications. It allows me to open the email up and read it at any time. It also allows me to respond at any time. It also allows my secretary to track. We've got a to-do list that's been a running one ever since I've been here, and we're breaking it up obviously in days, weeks, and months when necessary. But the written communications are not only preferred, they're more efficient, and it gives everybody a record of what's being asked and when it was asked and whether or not it's been answered.
Thank you.
The first item on my report is Resolution R 199-20/21. This is a carryover from a recommended resolution by the Alabama League of Municipalities Economic Development Academy, representative with whom I spoke a week and a half ago. The resolution is designed to reduce to writing the city's involvement in the Alabama League of Municipalities Economic Development Academy. I didn't realize until getting a little bit of information myself from the league that there are some 30 cities, I think, doing this. So it's a pretty big deal. There are probably more doing it than that, but there are 30 on a list that they have already. The resolution was drafted by the league. I was forwarded a copy of it. So what you see is a template that was drafted by the league itself. And I obviously read over it and presented to you for your approval. In summation, it sets out what the intent of the Economic Development Academy is, who's the participant, in this case, the city of Selma. It authorizes the mayor to sign off on paying for any involvement of the cities in the Development Academy, Economic Development Academy. It lists the participants, the mayor, Mayor Perkins, Council President Young, Councilwoman Lisa James, Susan Youngblood, former Councilwoman, Danielle Wooten, City of Selma Planning and Development Director, as the 5 representatives of the city. And I present that to you for your consideration and approval on Tuesday night. Item number 2 on my report is a resolution R001.
Hello. I heard that.
Yes.
And someone help me, Ron, I read this somewhere, but can we not include other council members if we pay an additional $250? I read that somewhere in there.
I don't know the answer to that question, but I can get it to you. I can get it probably tomorrow morning, first thing.
Because I'm thinking, Councilman Thomas.
Yeah,
Okay, I thought I read that somewhere.
And I will, I'm sure she's right, but I'll confirm that first thing in the morning and let you know before Tuesday.
I think we can get up to 2 more members, I think.
2 additional members of the council for a total of 7 people.
Oh, the deadline is tomorrow?
Yeah, you gotta get it in by tomorrow.
2 more members.
Uh-huh. And the
Do you
deadline
want to provide me those names now?
Okay, anybody else, any other council members? First volunteer was Councilman Carmichael. It's the first week of November, I know when we can start. Like the first week of November in Montgomery.
I think it is, and it's first week of November as well as throughout 2022. I think quarterly activities, so probably at least four other meetings next year.
Yes, sir.
November the 1st is the date for the initial orientation.
Okay,
That's our regular time.
okay. Council Secretary.
That's the same day that, like, 4 or 5 of y'all, one was, y'all already registered.
We already registered.
To be there for the ALM.
They told me, yeah.
I think you go that early and then you go into the.
That's correct, yes, yes. All right, was there anyone else other than Councilman Carmichael that wanted to go? That's your hand, okay. So Councilwoman Curtis Thomas. All right, so if we can, if Attorney Madison, if you can make contact with the league, let them know that we do have 2 other council members that are interested. And then
I heard, for purposes of the resolution, I heard Councilman Carmichael and who else?
Councilwoman Christie Thomas.
Christie Thomas and Clay Carmichael.
Yes, Councilwoman Christie Thomas and Councilman Clay Carmichael.
Thank
And
you.
we take a vote on Tuesday to pay the additional fee. Yeah. Oh, come on here.
Yeah, you better come out, because this is
And it's 20.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Attorney.
You're welcome. Item number 2, resolution R001. This is an informational item because I've actually already drafted this resolution, but I wanted to talk with the end of Unity and Action for Nonviolence. I believe Councilman Carmichael brought this to the body's attention and my attention week before last, and he gave me the name of an attorney Bonner, I believe, in California. I've reached out to that attorney's office. I actually spoke with someone in the office. I had my Ms. Mosley send an email to that office requesting some additional information. I've done some further research on what I believe to be the import of the request for this resolution, but I wasn't 100% sure to turn it loose tonight. So I was attempting to get more information. I have a resolution, but I don't think it's ready for presentation to this body because I wanted to confirm some of the information I had in it, as well as talk to the person that Councilman Carmichael said spurred this initiative to begin with. But that resolution will be presented to you shortly. If I can get a response back from Attorney Bonner's office before Tuesday, I could actually have it presented Tuesday on first reading. You can vote on it at the most appropriate time following that. Resolution R002.
And, Attorney, Councilman
Yes.
Attorney Madison, if you have issues reaching him for some reason, if you would reach out to me, he's answering my call every time I call.
I couldn't hear all that, but I did talk with someone in his office. I think it was a young lady by the name of Sandra in the firm in California. But I not only talked with her, we sent an email requesting communications and never got anything back.
Okay, just if you need help, let me know, please.
Councilman Carmichael, you were saying what again?
He said if you need any assistance, just let him know.
Sure.
All right, yes, sir.
Resolution item number 3 is resolution R002-21/22. That's the 2.2-mile Veterans Walk. That was an individual representing veterans in the area, in the Selma, Dallas County area, in your council meeting, the last council session, and that resolution was requested to be drafted. It's in your packet for review. The resolution is just over a page long. If you don't mind, I'll go on and read it because I think it's important in its import and its language. City of Selma commemoration of Veterans 2.2-mile Buddy Watch Walk. Whereas the City of Selma, Alabama is desirous of acknowledging the invaluable contributions of veterans of all branches of the United States Armed Forces and throughout history. And whereas the answer to the call of duty for defense of our nation has resulted in the dedication and service of millions of veterans in service around the globe during both peacetime and war. And whereas service to our nation has taken a tremendous toll upon our brave servicemen and women, up to and including injury of mind, body, and spirit, as well as the last full measure of devotion and duty. And whereas in recognition of the particularly devastating effects of combat-related post-traumatic stress disorder, in parentheses PTSD, there has been organized ways to call attention to PTSD, which all too often can and does lead to crippling physical and emotional existences among veterans. And whereas veterans are walking across the country to inform people on issues that affect veterans on anything that ranges from PTSD to suicide, including one such Buddy Watch Walk, which has taken place from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama. And whereas veterans in the city of Selma, including those from the local VFW post Selma 3016, have participated in the walk and wish for more veterans and others to participate. And whereas since on average there are 22 veteran suicides a day, and that's 22 too many, we need to make America aware of this. And whereas one of the goals of veteran groups is to spread awareness of issues that plague military veterans, PTSD MST, TBI, addiction, and homelessness, and bring together veterans of all ethnicities with different backgrounds and struggles. Be it resolved that the City Council of Selma, Alabama declares its support of the Buddy Watch Walk and commemorates it each year on the day and date it takes place as a municipal day for honoring and assisting veterans in this activity by any means authorized by statute or ordinance of the City of Selma, Alabama. Adopted this blank day of adopted by the City Council of City of Selma, Alabama, this blank day of blank month 2021, and appropriate signature spaces are affixed thereto. That was a poignant message brought to the council. As a veteran of the United States Air Force and having a wife who happens to be a licensed marriage and family therapist and has worked with Army active duty military personnel at one point in the not too distant past, she was witnessing firsthand the effects of PTSD, including assault and trauma being visited on servicemen's own family members, where one person was even accused of just having PTSD and assaulting a family member, but was actually found innocent in a court of law. It's a serious, serious problem, that and all the other ravages that affect our servicemen and women, especially after they've been in combat duty. So I strongly and wholeheartedly recommend that resolution to you for consideration, your consideration and adoption. Item number 4 is a contract for David Blackman. That contract was not presented tonight, but it's already drafted. However, I'm missing a fund account number and an amount for the contract. If I can get those 2 items, I'll have that contract ready to present to you for approval for Tuesday. The contract calls for videography, filming of council work sessions, meetings, committee meetings, and the such and the like. And the contract will speak for itself, but I do definitely need, and I've reached out to, I didn't reach out to the council, but I've reached out to finance to try to get a fund account number. I don't have it yet, and I do need an amount from whoever is spearheading this. I can't create a material term such as the amount. I have to get that from someone, I guess, from someone on the council.
Councilman James Thomas is going to speak to it. Go ahead, Councilman Thomas.
Yes, I'd like to bring this to the body of the council level, so that to make a public relation, special event, advertising, or our general fund. These are those choices you can use that for.
And also give him the amount, whatever that amount was that we approved. I think it was in the consent agenda, Mr. Attorney. That amount should have been included. 14,000. Okay. So
14,000 for 6 months.
Yes, sir.
yes. Okay.
Okay. And you say the fund account number was included in the consent?
Sir, we, this is why we have work session. I wanted to address the 4 locations. You can do public relations, special event, advertising, or we can use from the general fund.
Oh, she's saying those are the options. You're saying those are the options.
Those are the options to the body of the council.
Okay.
Well, I'm willing to do whatever is the will of the body.
I prefer,
Go ahead.
I prefer that we do that on our appropriated general fund account, just because we didn't have it in our budget, we swapped it, right here in the middle of our. I don't think we had it in our budget. did we?
No, we did not.
Okay, just right here swapping fiscal years, and we didn't have it in our budget, I think that'd be easy.
Any objection from unappropriated account? Any objection? Okay, if you could draft, there's no objection from any members of the council.
But Can I say something?
Go ahead, Councilman Thomas.
The reason why I name those things, that is why, it serves a purpose of these items that I said, public relations, special events, advertising.
Yes, sir.
And that's my reason why I said.
Okay. All right, Mr. Attorney, I think you've gotten the information you need, and we'll look to.
Was that general fund unrestricted account?
Unappropriated. Unappropriated.
Excuse me?
Unappropriated.
I still don't know. I hear some talk, but I can't hear clearly.
It said unappropriated.
Unappropriated. General fund unappropriated.
All right, thank you, okay. All right,
Not a problem. The last item is item number 5, Maximilian Daiquiri Shop alcohol application. That application should also be included in your packet under item number 5. There was some additional information I was told today that's due. I think it's probably inspections and or the like, as in addition to paperwork evidencing what those inspections concluded. This information, I was told, was enough to place it on first reading. I should have whatever other information is necessary before Tuesday night for your consideration and approval.
so you just asked, for Tuesday, you're just asking us to place it on first reading.
Correct,
Vote to place it on first reading.
correct.
Okay.
But there may be additional information provided to you before Tuesday is also what I was saying.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, Mr. Attorney, for your report.
That concludes my report.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll now go to our business items. We'll start with the first 3 items. Y'all belong to Council Carter. You got the floor, sir.
Okay, the tower ordinance, I sent out to everybody, and I'm just going to do a brief overview of this. We have a business here who hired a consultant to look at this some years back, and they found that our local ordinance is not in line with federal law, in fact, breaks federal law. So, and Council Marvel may be familiar with this, and what this local business owner has done is he's contacted the city of Demopolis, and they put together their tower ordinance and sent it over. I sent it to everybody. And I think what we need to do is get in line with federal law by just basically doing what Demopolis does. It's not, I don't think it's very difficult, but we just don't need to have the certain language that we have in there currently. We need to change it a little bit. Attorney Madison, did you hear that?
I see the item on the agenda, and I heard some of that, Councilman Carmack, about the tower.
Yes, sir. I've sent it to you a couple of times over the course of the year. Do you recall?
Well, I recall vaguely getting some information. I don't know how long ago. Anything done in the city of Selma, especially if it's going to involve contractual action or changes to anything, I think would be better started out in the mayor's office and then sent to me for legal opinion on whatever you want to do. The mayor's going to have to supervise anything that's done anyway, especially contractually, or decide who's going to be the correct department to supervise any action. In the case of a tower, probably IT.
This is an ordinance.
Yeah, but the ordinance is going to impact the city of Selma.
And that's why we elected.
Okay, but can we take this up in the committee, maybe when Attorney Madison can be here?
Sure.
Let's put that in administrative committee.
Yeah.
I think Sorry, Councilwoman Thomas. All right, we'll refer that over to administrative committee to handle.
Understood.
Great. All right, continue.
Mr. President, I guess I can request to be present at me.
Sure.
I just, you just make me aware when it is.
Councilwoman Thomas, get on that. Okay, thank y'all. All right. Go ahead.
That's probably another administrative committee here, but, I want everybody, at the send out regarding our personnel system. Or maybe we can skip that committee out. But there's, in Unicode, some of these things don't line up, so I want to make sure that we see it in writing, in ink, is how I prefer to see these things rather than on the internet. But in Unicode, when we're discussing, or when it talks about personnel in section 2-300, it discusses many things in depth, but when it goes down to the appointment and salary of the personnel director, section 2-309, it says the personnel director shall be nominated by the mayor and subject to the confirmation and approval of the city council, and shall hold office at the will of the mayor and city council. The personnel director shall receive such compensation or salary as may be established or fixed from time to time by the city council. It goes on to say, or prior to that, it talks about reporting to the council. And I just want to make sure that what we're doing in the past is corrected. And I'm thinking that we need a resolution for that to have approval, official approval of the council for the appointment of our current personnel director.
Okay. I think the best way, I think you commented off, Council Carmine, that too, I'm sorry, Councilwoman Thomas. I think that'd be great for a committee, for us to just make sure the draft was proper, and go over it, and have all eyes on what they need to have. So if we can have that under administrative committee too.
Can y'all be here at 5 or 12?
We don't need no Jeff, I can't be 12.
Okay, we'll get you there.
Okay, all right. We'll just place it in committee. I don't think that's,
Are you gonna do committees again next meeting?
probably going to assign, this our first week. If not, at the next meeting this month, if not this week.
I don't mind serving on that
Okay.
because I know I got several items that I put in that.
I got you.
If that will help.
Okay, well, we'll get a schedule together on that, so proceed, you can proceed.
And this may be another one. Our attorney, I believe, is appointed by council, and I don't think we did I think we appointed all interim when we entered office. So I think this needs to be reviewed as well, that position.
Okay, yeah, we did, the only, appointment, that we completed was with, the clerk and Councilman Thomas on that one. The other ones were, interim, so, that needs to be reviewed and taken up, as well as, the court. I know we got some stuff we gotta do with the court system as well, with those appointments, so, I think all of those, should go through as well. For the attorney appointment, let's put that also under administrative as well. Let's deem that vessel procedure and policy. And so let's take that to administrative committee as well. Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Can I like to add this to the council? I would like for, this is starting our fiscal year of October, the new beginning. And I would like for us to, all old business, even with our personnel handbook, everything. I think we need to come up to the date, we need to come up to put everything in place. Because we have, within a year. And some of these things are all business, should have been taken care of. And I like us to push them to move on, let's get our people in places and let's kind of.
We're on the exact same page, Councilwoman Thomas, and you've just taken care of one of my items. Because, go ahead. I had follow-up and updates on pending items. And what, myself and the council secretary will be doing over the next few days is contacting all of the committee chairs. We're gonna go through our agenda, from all the various meetings that we've had this year and look at and make sure we've covered those items that we have. And I will send an email from, myself and Ms. Ellison. We send emails to committee chairs to make sure we're covering those items. So that we're on the same page. All right, we gotta take care of it. And there are a lot of pending items. So be ready for emails you'll receive this weekend from council secretary and from the. All right. We can move on. Are those all your items, Councilman Carmichael? Excellent. Let's move on now to the item for Councilwoman Christie Thomas.
Okay, well, I do have an update on all the IDIC. I noticed that we have a packet. So, that would be my item.
Okay.
When you have a package, when you say that, the type of information that you have,
Ma'am,
when you say,
this was given to us.
okay, so that's what all,
This is the packet, yes.
including the pay salary and everything is in there?
I see that.
Yeah.
Starts on page 21.
Okay,
So you got reading material, council.
okay,
Okay. We don't have to ask about it anymore. It's here.
okay.
All right. Thank you, Councilwoman Thomas. Now we'll go to the next 4 items, and that's Councilwoman Jane Thomas.
Well, you take one of them out.
Okay, yes, ma'am. The gardening purchase order.
Oh, yeah, I didn't bring my, garden purchase order to the local council, to vote on Tuesday. When we get the garden, I got plant the greens, so I always set them out. A little behind, but I want to set them out and people, this come out of, garden, grant that we've been using for previous years that, it was done under the Evans administration, Mrs. Evans, Obama, wife. We've been had this for a while, but I love the garden. We do that planting stuff in our board. So this is where it's coming from, we're still using that fund.
All right, thank you. So you'll bring that up and vote on Tuesday?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, and your next item, report of revenues and debt.
Okay. We received an email. Oh, don't go over, send the plants out over to my, these are plants that we set out. My next item is, we received an email, I don't know if everybody, the reason why I was concerned about it. We received an email from the state examiner that sends you to come from the Alabama League that require us of making sure that the things that we are needing and requiring, and we need to get that done through our treasurer, which is not here. And I asked our secretary to send that we received. I'm quite sure that every council person get that from the state examiner, which requires us to make sure that our updates and things that reply up to the auditor.
I think I've seen 2 emails, so there's one is the district
Yes,
stuff that we have to report that.
yes, we have.
we have to prove that the police jurisdiction revenue is being spent in the police jurisdiction.
That's correct. And I haven't received those emails. Can y'all,
You keep that,
mine kick back?
Yeah.
Okay.
you keep that.
If somebody comes from a city, or we can change it to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't take it. Please send it.
And then that's important for this body of council to know that, this is the year of the state exam. Their report that requiring us to, meet the standards in our tax office with, quite a few other things on there. So this is why we want to know with our treasurer, our interim treasurer, to look at that and make sure that, we, meet the standard. Just to make sure that we are meeting required that they send out. It came from the state examiner for all, Alabama municipalities.
I think the second one was deadlines on the, emergency,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Did we, I remember talking about it, but I'm not sure if we, followed through on it. I think we were talking about BMSS helping us with comply with the American Rescue Fund that.
Yeah, I actually reached out to their resident expert and just told them what we were doing. And Jamie felt 100%, he was 100% agreement what we were suggesting. No question. He said he really didn't feel like, he didn't need to review anything, and we were right on target.
And also I'd like to share too, they also sent us out, and I like we should get for our interim treasurer to get this here so he can, reply to the U.S. Treasury State and Local Finance Recovery Funds, but they time for a report. They are asking us to make sure that we are following the guidelines and according to the report that we're supposed to follow by and be turned in. He needs to see this email that came from the Alabama League of Municipalities.
So we got today,
Yeah, it came Tuesday.
yes,
Yes.
okay.
And, we need to make sure that, our interim treasurer is, making sure that this is done according to the way that, the state treasurer is required. You see it?
I'll send it to you. Yeah, I got it.
You got it? Okay.
I know.
I just want all of us to be on the same accord, because when we make these decisions and stuff, they are guidelines, they are requirements, that they send to us as, legislative branch.
Thank you.
Throughout, with our treasury, we're not having our treasury yet. We have somebody in there, we want to make sure that
Okay.
Okay, my next one is, the personnel, we talked about, remember the mayor brought to us about, placing 2 people on the personnel board. Our personnel handbook requires certain guidelines of placing citizens on personnel board. And also we got the personnel manual, went through it a little. And also I wanted to, as our HR person at the time of the personnel handbook, did she look at that? Because according to our personnel book, it requires if some guidelines in there. And I wanted to know before we do things that we go by our own personnel manual. And I would like to ask her, will she look at that required of placing citizen on the personnel board, and look at the questions on there that require saying that if a person has been active or involved in any elected office or ran for any elected office. I wanted her to look at that, and I also wanted the council to look at the personnel manual. Some of those things are in there, which was done in what, 2013? think the 2015. No, the personnel handbook was done in 2015. And I think the, personnel handbook, something that was updated.
Well, she's on Zoom, I'm sure, hopefully she heard your request, but I think that this is best taken care of, because we have that under the administrative committee. So you gotta take that whole personnel manual up and those issues within it.
Okay.
And so I know I see her on the Zoom, on there, so hopefully she heard it. If
And
not, we'll relay that message to her.
And also, I would like for this body to council to move on. We paid for a new personnel manual. And Auburn was supposed to be came back with the agreement with our personnel manual. And I would like to know, since, that was our holdup from the previous council, that we had a new personnel manual did. And, we have not moved forward, and I would like to move forward with the new personnel manual that we, it was paid for. And it's not too much changing in that personnel manual.
Well, I reached out to Mr. Cooper and asked him to get a quote, as to how much it would cost to review it and tell us if we needed to get anything changed in.
May I say this? We do not need to spend any more money. We spend enough money. No, I'm just, all I have to say is, can I say this? We spent money on that personnel manager, that personnel manual, and we have not used it. This year is 1 year that personnel manager been sitting there. We have been waiting on Auburn. It was brought before this body of council that you wanted them to look at it. They have had that personnel manual long enough to look at it, and I don't think we need to spend any more money for somebody else to look at it. We already got 2015 personnel manual, and you take that personnel manual and go and look at it and see what's the difference. There's only about, I think, about 2 things that was changed in the personnel manual. And the 2 things that were changed in the personnel manual was I think it was the state law had some legislative that changed some things. And she brought it up, there was only 2 things that were in that change. To go by the privilege of a personnel manager from 2015 and the one we got, those are about the only 2, they brought us up to the standard of the legislature and put in.
Well, I was asked by the council to reach out to Auburn to get a quote, so that's what I did, because there were things questionable in the personnel manual. So I just did what I was told, and I think we're still, Clay, you want to speak on that?
Yeah, so the company who did that last annual, I understand, has some issues. And I thought, what our discussions were previously is that we probably need to have a review before we vote it through, because that may create further issues down the road. If there's something that's wrong there. And for instance, and I'm not saying that this company did this, but maybe at some point along the way this happened. Typically, if you have a personnel board, it's written in law by ordinance. And so I'd like to see the ordinance where the personnel board circle that, what you were originally talking about. I'd like to see the ordinance on where the personnel board was created and how it was created, rather than just find it in the manual, because if somebody just made up the manual and put that in there without seeing the ordinance, then we may not be operating.
Well, we have the,
And the personnel, the code that I pointed out earlier, it mentions ordinance number 306 on November 13th, 1979. So that's in the code. It says personnel rules and regulations here to adopt ordinance number 306 on November 13th, 1979. So I'd just like to see that ordinance, and if there's any updates to that since then.
okay.
Because it also references an ordinance from 32381 down in the citation down there.
And that's exactly what I'm saying, that, you know, you're looking at Unico. Okay, you're looking at Unico, but there are, have you looked to see where they're getting updated, changes?
That's what I'm asking for.
Okay, and that is why I said that, we had the, personnel manual, for everyone to get a copy of it to go through to see. During the time of personnel for the future on the, what did they change, and I'm quite clear.
So the council would have had to vote on the ordinance, if the ordinance is in place, so if there is one updated, then it should be on file.
And the only way we would know that is that we would have to request from the clerk to look to see if anything that was put in place or anything that was put in place on file. But that's what we have.
Can we make that official request tonight? Is that, is this the public meeting? Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because we spent money on that personnel. It's been a year, guys been sitting there, we've been all sitting here. And that's the first thing you guys came in here saying, that you didn't want to move on the personnel. And, my understanding that it was placed in Auburn and that they were going to look at it. And they didn't have the opportunity to look at it like they came up with our pension of our, salary.
Okay, this is a healthy discussion. It's a good discussion. And I think it'll be even a better discussion when we have it in committee. And so, like I said from the beginning, let's take it up and commit it and then come back to the council with some solid vote. And so, I think that also one of the holdup was we were trying to get the, Auburn study done. So that was a big concentration as far as, getting the salaries and stuff. So it kind of got put back on the back burner. But this is one of those pending items that has to be taken care of. And I think that it will go in email form this weekend, Councilwoman.
Well,
That we need to take some action.
I hear you saying that, Mr. President,
Yes, ma'am.
we don't mean,
I know you.
and, I sit back, it's a whole year.
It's time for some action. I got you. Yes, ma'am.
And we didn't take, their money, the whole.
For the, yes, ma'am.
That's all, that's why I want to see you.
Understood and received. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
One last comment, I won't take partial blame for that, because I thought this was included in the scope work we have. And it was not.
I kind of need to, so that.
And I thought that, I know we requested it too.
No, y'all did, that's what I'm saying.
And I'm not sure why we never saw that scope work.
Okay.
Included,
All right.
so.
We, okay.
No question.
All right.
Council President Young,
Yes, sir, Mayor.
may I ask a question, a couple of questions based on some of the discussion heard? On the personnel manual, the one that we're currently operating under is the 2015 manual. The previous council commissioned to get another manual written, and it was delivered in 2020. I wanted to ask Councilwoman Janie Thomas, based on what she said, only two things changed in the manual. Why did the council commission to rewrite the entire manual versus amending the existing manual? And do you recall, I think, how much was paid to rewrite that manual? Was it a $10,000 contract? What was that contract for?
It was like 20, it was like 25, we spent like, it was about, I can't say all right out how much it was, but
I didn't know, does Attorney Madison, do you recall, does anyone,
$10,000,
how much was it?
$10,000.
It was 10,000. Do you know why the council decided to pay to rewrite a manual when only two things changed in it?
when I say two things, Mayor, Can I correct you? When I say two things, I say two things meaning the legislative law put in place that wasn't, state law wasn't in our book. Now, it might be me, it might be more than two, but I know there are two specific things that I know that was put in there. It might be, it could be more than that in there to bring it up to the date of the state law, which require that we should be even with the guideline of the workers, other workers working in the workplace.
Yes, ma'am. I have reviewed both manuals, and you're pretty much on target. Very little changed between those two manuals, and I really,
No
it's
personnel.
just so big. Well, we've been so tired of trying to get all of the other items taken care of in the HR department. That's just been a curious question. I just was wondering why did we rewrite a manual when there were so few changes made, and it was only a 5-year variance between the time we had actually two manuals done. But I hear you. The other thing I wanted to ask President Young is, did I understand Councilman Harville to say that BMSS had given an opinion on the American Rescue Plan spending proposal? Is that what I heard?
Correct.
Okay, then I'm going to request that they give us that in writing, because if I'm not, we want to get that written so that we'll know that for certain. And then I had mentioned earlier, and this is my final comment, mentioned earlier that really are going towards a more formal approach to communicating with administration. So I'm asking council members to start practicing putting your requests, your council body request in writing to the administration. If you would send them to my office, and I'll make sure they get to the right place so that you can get the information you need for deliberation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. All right, Councilman Thomas, are you finished?
Yeah, the mayor asked the question. We begin to have some legal problems with our personnel, and this is why we were trying to get it revitalized so that we will not be. We had a lot of issues, I can tell you that. Some things started happening in the city.
All right, thank you.
You're right, also today, the Juneteenth holiday. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Juneteenth.
Thank you. And your last item, you removed that, right, Councilman Thomas? Correct?
Yes, I'll remove that, I will talk about that.
Yes, ma'am. All right, then we come up on item already taken care of, follow-up and updates on pending items. Myself and council secretary will be communicating with the council on those various items that need to be taken care of in the next meeting. Now we'll go to committee reports. Are there any committees that would like to report at this time? Any committees like to report? Go ahead, Councilman Carr. Councilman Thomas.
I have a question for Attorney Madison. The garbage initiative, or Mayor Carson, whichever one, the garbage initiative we had discussed, finding out the laws regarding public hearings and publishing time. And I was just curious if we got that information and if it's been published and the public hearings been scheduled.
You asking about the scheduling of public hearings?
Yes, I was curious if the ordinance or the garbage initiative has been published and if the public hearings have been scheduled and what the laws are regarding that.
Well, the ordinance has not been published, no, and nor have hearings been scheduled. That's going to be done through the clerk's office, and those have not been scheduled. No, the answer is no.
And did you look into the laws regarding that? I could not find anything other than the ordinance had to be published for 30 days.
I haven't found any. Yes, I did look into it. I've even contacted the league. I'm going to have to get back with Lori Line. When I communicated with her office, she wasn't there. I left a voicemail message for her. I'll get back with her, but I haven't found anything additional other than what you've indicated you saw.
Thank you. Any other committees? Councilman Thomas.
Just want to follow up with Ms. Menifee. Ms. Menifee, the Director of Public Dealings. I'd like to ask her, where are we with the elevator right now?
Council, go ahead, we'll get you something, I just want to practice what we're preaching here. We'll get you something in writing on that. Just send us an email or something, and we'll get you something in writing on the update on that. Okay, thank you.
Can I say, when you say practice, when you're preaching, I'm not preaching.
No, I'm not trying to be funny, Councilwoman. I'm just saying, I'm talking to myself now. We're gonna write.
As the committee of the legislative body, when we give a report, the citizen come to the city hall. Citizen, the elevator has been now approximately out of order since January the 28th or 29th of this year. And we have, this body of the council has voted to move on to get a new elevator, which we have already said where the funds gonna come from. But we just need to know that the time moving, and as a legislator of this branch, I believe in letting the citizen know, and like you said, email and all that, the citizen is entitled to know, because they come to the meeting, and this is affecting other people that are elders, or affecting this body of doing things by not having an elevator, because everybody is not young to walk up all those stairs. And then you have disabled people, handicapped people. So that is my concern, and trying to do what's right.
Councilwoman, the elevator really has been malfunctioning for several years. And I do know that in the last meeting, the Public Buildings Committee gave a report indicating that we had communicated with one vendor, and we thought that vendor was going to be able to do it. They came in, they did an inspection and determined that their elevator box would not fit into our shaft. And so we had to start over. And so that's where the process is right now. Again, if you need additional information, just let us know, put it in writing, we'll get it to you. Thank you.
I will be glad to put everything in writing. Also, I would like the citizen to know, yes, the elevator has been out of function for the last 4 years, where the former council in the public building chairperson has been pushing for many years to get an elevator in here, until the elevator did cause a serious injury. So this is my concern. That's why I'm pushing and trying to work with the city itself.
Thank you very much for the update. Any other committees need to report? Any committees need to report?
Can I add?
Yes.
What would be a good day for you all? We got a lot of items on administrative, so we need to go ahead and take care of those. Everybody that needs to attend on that meeting. The administrative meeting, what would be a good day?
I'm fine with anything. I mean,
Let's see. We got 12, well, if you wanted to be there,
I'm okay. Yeah, I mean, but I can't do it 12 or 13.
you can't do it 12 or 13, about 14. You get 14.
And that's the Thursday.
That's a Thursday.
Okay,
That'd be a week with that.
okay. So we'll do it 5 o'clock. We'll do that meeting at 5.
Is there any way that can be on Zoom as well?
yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Also as a, personnel manager. And the SRA board.
Do we need to have, nominations for that, sorry, board president, that meeting?
And that's what I was gonna ask you, and Mr. President, we need to move immediately, you know, we need to write in our people on our, the citizen review board. When are we planning on having another public safety meeting, because we need one?
We were gonna have one next, but I felt like the administrative committee took the night. I was prepared to say we're gonna do that in the next committee meeting, but now I'm turning things over to the administrative committee. So the week after, sometime the week after the administrative committee.
And
Well, but, and also, we wanted to wait and allow all of the different boards to have their meetings, because what we plan on doing in the public safety committee is taking all the information that was gained at those board meetings, compile a list, and bring it up in public safety.
okay, well,
So I've been waiting on the board meetings to take place.
okay, and you're gonna try to wait till everybody have a public, say, a board meeting before you address anything about the public safety meeting?
Yes, ma'am, because that's what's gonna be addressed at the public safety. Public safety, so that's what's at each one of the board meetings, they're talking about public safety. So we're gonna bring all that and put it together and bring that out of public safety. So
What
that's,
about the citizen review?
that's in the items I have on the list of going
So
around.
we
and
should have
trying to-
everybody now?
trying to get, I still don't have everybody's names. And so that's indicating how, with the email, we'll get your name, the person that's being represented on the civilian review board. So that was in the beginning.
So at that meeting, we'll have that last name.
Ma'am,
At that meeting, we'll have a name.
yes, hopefully, everybody does.
And that's the reason why I say, citizen, we need to be a little bit more strong official in the public safety, because of the issues and things that we have.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
need to be.
Understood. Yes, ma'am. All right, any other committees you can report? Any other committee? Well, before we adjourn, council members, especially those that got on the pink shirt, stand up. Stand up, stand up. All right, and I think the council secretary, stand up too. And that's supposed to be pink, council Jefferson is here. And you got pink in spirit, y'all stand up too. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that this month is a very important month for a lot of us. Cancer is something that has impacted most, if not all, of our families, especially breast cancer. So we want to thank Councilwoman, Council Secretary, for making sure that we acknowledge this important month with our shirts. So get in pink. And I think we look pretty good in pink tonight. So this entire month, we will be acknowledging breast cancer. And so is the city of Selma. You can go to the Facebook page. You can see all the different activities that are planned for this month. But also you can look back at the sign. October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we want to make sure Selma acknowledges breast cancer. We want to make sure that everyone acknowledges because it impacts so many of us. And we also want to remember all of those that have transitioned based off of breast cancer. So. There being no further business of the Selma City Council, this meeting stands adjourned. Thank you so much.